Lesson 4.5, graph using slope-intercept form. What is slope-intercept form? How do you graph equations using it? Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. The slope is your m and the y-intercept is your b. If you look at the equation y equals 2x plus 4, our slope would be 2 and the y-intercept 4. Identify the slope and the y-intercept of the equation. First, we have y equals 5x minus 3. The slope is always the number that is in front of the x. So in this case, our slope would be 5. The y-intercept is always the number that is by itself, including either the plus or the minus sign that is in front of it. So in this case, our y-intercept is 3. For the next equation, 3x plus y equals 2, we have to first put the equation in the form y equals mx plus b. And to do this, we must move the 3x away from the y. So since it's a positive 3x, we must subtract 3x from both sides. On the left side, they cancel each other out. We're left with y. On the right side, you cannot take 2 minus 3x, so you keep the negative 3x first and add 2 to it. Now, the slope is always the number that's in front of the x, so in this case our slope is negative 3, and the y-intercept is what's by itself, so the y-intercept is 2. Alright, graph the following equation. 2x plus y equals 3. So we're graphing using slope-intercept form. So the first thing we have to do is write the equation in y equals mx plus b form. So we must isolate y, meaning we must solve for y and get y by itself. So to do that, we have to move the 2x over to the right side. So we have to subtract 2x to both sides, y equals negative 2x plus 3. Now we must identify our slope and our y-intercept. The slope is the number in front of the x, negative 2, and the y-intercept is 3. Now, to plot this on our graph, we have to identify the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis, and the y-axis, which is the vertical axis. First thing we always put on the graph is the y-intercept, 3. So we go on the y-axis to 3 and we put a point. From that point we use our slope, which is negative 2 over 1, to make the rest of the points on the graph. Now we have to remember, slope is rise over run. So in this case our rise is negative 2. So that means we're going to start at that first point we made and we're going to go down 2 units, and the run is 1, so we're going to go 1 unit to the right and put our second point. From that point we're going to continue as a slope and go down 2 more units and 1 more to the right, down 2, 1 to the right, until we fill our graph up with points. Once we have all our points plotted on the graph, we then connect them by drawing a line through them. And there is our line for 2x plus y equals 3. For our next equation here, we have x plus 2y equals 4. The first thing we have to do is write the equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So to do that, we must subtract x to both sides. On the left side, the x's cancel each other out. We're left with 2y equals negative x plus 4. Now since we have 2y, that means 2 times y. So to undo multiplication, we divide everything by 2. On the left side, the 2's eliminate each other. We're left with y equals. Negative x divided by 2 is really negative 1x divided by 2. So that is negative 1/2 x. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Now we must identify our slope, which is negative 1/2, and our y-intercept, which is 2. Now we must graph our line. So the first thing we do is identify our x-axis, the horizontal axis, and the y-axis, the vertical axis. We always start out by plotting the y-intercept on the graph first. So the y-intercept is 2, so we go on the y-axis to 2 and put our first point. Then we use our slope negative 1/2, which is rise over run. Again, it is negative, so our rise means we go down 1 unit, and our run is 2 units to the right. And we continue putting points on by using our slope by going down 1 unit and 2 units to the right. Now to put points on the left side, we do the opposite, so we run 2 to the left and then go up 1 unit. This way we have points across the whole graph, and once we do that, now we draw a line to connect all those points. So there's our line for x plus 2y equals 4. In the next section here, we must determine which lines are parallel. Now, to determine which lines are parallel lines have the same slope. So if we find the slope of each line here, whichever lines have the same slope, that means they are parallel because they will never touch. So we must find the slope of each line. For line A, we know the slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we take our 2 points, 0, 6, and -2, -4, and substitute those numbers into the formula. So we have 6 minus -4 over 0 minus -2. 6 minus -4 is 6 plus 4, and 0 minus -2 is 0 plus 2, because when you subtract the negative, you add a positive. So you get 10 over 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the slope of line A is 5. Now we must find the slope of line B. So we use the 2 points, 0, 2, and -1, -4. So we have 2 minus -4 over 0 minus -1. So that's 2 plus 4 divided by 0 plus 1. And that equals 6 over 1, which equals 6. So the slope of line B is 6. Now we must find the slope of line C. So we take the 2 points, 2, 9, and 1, 3, and substitute them into the formula. So we have 9 minus 3 over 2 minus 1, which equals 6 over 1, which equals 6. So lines B and C are parallel because they have the same slope.